On Wednesday, September 11, 2019, Jennifer Schaefer, Executive Director of the Board of Parole Hearings, arrived at San Quentin. She was joined by CDCR Undersecretary Kathleen Allison and Cliff Cushaw, the board's chief psychologist. They gave a discourse during Mental Wellness Week, mainly on mental health and psych evaluations in relationship to parole suitability. Mental Wellness Week, first launched in September 2018, was San Quentin's local program of events in recognition of National Suicide Prevention Awareness Week. Suicide is an increasing public health concern in the United States and overseas, with an average of 800,000 suicide deaths per year. In the United States alone, there are 123 suicides per day. The suicide rate in jails and prison are almost 3 times the rate of the outside community, considering the isolation, despair, and hopelessness that can overwhelm the incarcerated. The purpose of Mental Wellness Week was to promote mental health wellness for the incarcerated and highlight the benefits of seeking assistance from mental health professionals. Different speakers came to inspire hope. Participants engaged in various games and activities such as playing African drums and chalk drawing. There was also a talent show showcasing the creative genius inside San Quentin, along with mental health staff providing free stress balls to those attending Mental Wellness Week gatherings. Likewise, these leaders came to bring optimism to the San Quentin community. Ms. Allison encouraged the men to maintain hope in the changing landscape of California corrections. She pointed to the San Quentin environment as an example of how the multitude of rehabilitative programs here result in transformation and eventual reintegration into society.
Because this institution has more programs than any other institution in the entire state of California. If I could emulate what we do here with the volunteers and the commitment from the staff and the administration, everybody here gets it. Everybody wants to see you guys succeed. You have a whole entire community surrounding you to help you be successful.
Ms. Schaefer put to rest the myth that seeking mental health counseling was a disadvantage at parole suitability hearings. Ms. Schaefer also promoted the importance of mental health treatment for internal healing, insight, coping with stressors, and preparing for society.
I know there's a lot of myths out there about if I'm triple CMS, if I'm part of the mental health delivery system, the board's going to see that as a weakness and they're not going to let me out. Nothing could be further from the truth. I want to be really clear about that. Folks on the outside, when we have problems, we go see a counselor, at least those of us that I perceive to be healthy. So to the extent that you are emulating that behavior in prison, that's healthy behavior.
She also spoke on how just about all incarcerated individuals suffered deep childhood trauma that led them on the road to prison.
I've read so many transcripts and so many risk assessments. I would bet a lot of money on the fact that there's not a single person in this room that didn't have some sort of childhood trauma. If we cannot start interceding at an earlier age with people who desperately need treatment, we're never going to be able to stop the crime and the victimization. Because those are the people that grow up, right? Hurt people hurt people. Hurt people can heal people as well. But it starts with the hurt people hurting people. We've got to get to a place where it's a safe thing for people to seek mental health treatment, get the help that they need so that we stop victimizing people.
Dr. Cushaw gave the population relevant information about the comprehensive risk assessment for the parole suitability hearing. He stated that long-term offenders will not be penalized by the board for having a mental health history.
That, participation in mental health services need not pose a barrier for a favorable risk assessment finding or parole release. And for some offenders, it is really an essential component of their risk management and their successful community transition. Some offenders really do need it, and you shouldn't feel stigmatized for acknowledging that. And it wouldn't be in your best interest if you really needed mental health services. Even if you were to convince the board and you kind of kept it to yourself, that wouldn't be healthy for you in the community if you really had significant mental health needs that you didn't attend to while you were in prison.
Dr. Kushaw also expounded on how to approach the risk assessment interview.
You should really approach this interview as your goal, one of your goals should be to help the psychologist. You're going to help the psychologist better understand your crime-causing factors and your pathways to violence, and you're going to share with him or her how you've changed over time. That's got to be your goal. So everything that I just talked about previously, about all of those things that we know contribute to crime and violence, you're going to be talking about that, and you're going to be talking about how you've attempted to become a different person over time. So you're going to educate the psychologist, provide examples. We want to hear stories. We want to hear stories. Be very specific. Critically look at your role in crime and the harm that you may have caused others. Don't avoid your dark side. Critically look at it.
Afterwards, the trio took questions from the men on various issues related to the board and recent beneficial legislative changes. Amidst this and even the fun activities, the message was this: seeking mental health treatment is essential for well-being. It actually helps those eligible for board hearings obtain parole suitability because it shows one being proactive in seeking counseling in stressful times to maintain soundness and well-being. So keep hope alive, because your story isn't over.